Hi guys, welcome to the TPI Pokemon channel yet again. Jono here and Connor. Say hi, Connor.
Hi guys.
And today we're going to be doing a deck profile. It's expanded format again because in the UK we have expanded events coming up very soon, 2nd of January, the first expanded cities, at certain coalfields. And we're going to be looking at Vespiquen Flareon, which is a deck which has had moderate to good success in the US. It's won a few cities, hasn't it, Connor?
I think it's made top 8 a few cities. I'm unsure that it's actually won any.
Okay. And it's just a solid deck all round. It operates with the same promos that Vespiquen in standard operated off, which is, well, a B Revenge, 20 plus 10 more damage for each Pokemon in your discard pile. And this goes really nicely with cards such as Unown Farewell Letter, put it onto the bench, discard it, and you get the draw. Battle Compressor, discard any 3 cards from your deck. And in expanded, things like Audino, which we're going to come on to in a bit. Now, passing over to you more, Connor, here. Do you want to go through kind of like the operations of the deck and some of the more unusual cards that are in this list?
Yeah, so of course your main attackers in the deck are both Vespiquen and Flareon. Depending on the matchup, you would use either or, sometimes both. It just allows you to draw more consistently into your attackers of the deck. They both operate off of a double colorless energy. The bonus of Flareon, though, is being able to use Blacksmith to attach 2 fire energy to it from the discard pile. As well as having the fire energy allows also for you to use the energy evolution Eevee in the deck. So turn 1, if you've got Eevee in the active, you can attach 1 fire energy to it, and then all of a sudden you have 100 HP stage 1 into the active. The most likely to be knocked out in the same turn that you evolve it.
Yeah.
Unless you get something like Seismitoad, which has weakness. I guess going on to the techie sort of one-offs in the deck, starting with Audino, one of the most sensible options, I guess. Okay. Basically a full heal, if anything. Removes a status condition from your Pokemon, as well as 10 HP off of any benched Pokemon or your active. So it's similar to Unown, where it's you play it and it's into discard. So it's a straight 1 into the discard off the bat.
Yeah, and considering this is expanded format, we get Hypnotoxic Laser back. So Poison is back with their back City Gym, and the sleep that comes with Hypnotoxic as well. So a rightly timed Audino and Busybody could be really crucial in turning the game on its head. The next card, I suppose, which is a bit unusual, is Kecleon. So why did we go for Kecleon?
Well, Kecleon is a basic Pokemon off the bat, so you don't have to evolve into anything.
Okay.
It helps in the mirror match quite a bit, meaning you don't have to evolve your Eevee into a Flareon or your Combee to a Vespiquen. You don't lose one of your main attackers.
Okay.
So you just attach your DC into this Pokemon, and you attack your opponent's active Pokemon with whatever attack they have in play. The only sort of downside to this card is you have to have the necessary energy on it. So when attacking, obviously a Vespiquen, you need the double colorless energy to be able to use the B Revenge. Same with Flareon, you need to use Vengeance. But it's a solid 70 HP attacker, basic. Really rounds out a matchup in the mirror.
It's an interesting choice. What do you think about something like Mr. Mime in a list like this?
As I found out from playing this standard at a couple of regionals, Mr. Mime is big, especially when you're playing against a very bat-heavy format.
Yeah.
Electric Bats was quite clearly my most difficult matchup, as I found out through quite a lot of testing. And when putting Mr. Mime in, it really rounded out the matchup, making it a lot more difficult for Electric to make overrun plays all the time, with and Bats being able to sweep across a skill dive.
Okay. And another card I'm looking at here is Wobbuffet. What's the Wobbuffet for?
Wobbuffet's a really good lead in the deck, especially against something like Cardio Blastoise. Leading with this and being able to cut them off from Blastoise turn 1 is absolutely huge. It means you get the lead. You can get ahead on things with if you get to go first, you can get a Vespiquen to play turn 2 and be able to KO things like the Cardio. You You can even bring up a Blastoise with the Lysandre, meaning they can't deluge. Other
it's
things.
An interesting choice.
Yeah, you can potentially take out a Shaymin if they misplays or such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Wobbuffet here, actually.
The only issue is obviously the large retreat cost on it. Sort of asks for you to play the Float Stone.
Yep.
For you to be able to retreat around it. Float Stone's not really needed. You can just leave Wobbuffet up there for a couple of turns to just wall while you get a set behind it. But it can become a nuisance if your opponent decides to Lysandre stall you mid to late game, if it's still on the board.
Yeah, and also if you have to pull up at any point, you've got AZ as well, which you can fish out with Jirachi or Battle Compressor into the BS Seeker.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking at other cards, your supporters are kind of very standard for this kind of list.
Yeah, quite a lot of one-offs.
Yeah,
with four copies of Juniper, obviously.
And you make an interesting observation about using one-offs with Town Map.
Yeah, Town Map definitely does turn your one-offs into two-offs, as it were.
Yeah.
Meaning that if they're prized, you Town Map, you semi-get access to them because you know what you're going to be taking. So you can take what you need at the right time, as and when, basically.
Yeah, and with the nature of this deck, you should be taking prizes every turn.
You should be taking prizes every single turn. You want to. Vespiquen's not really built for a drawn-out game.
Mm.
You are looking to end the game within a few turns.
Because as well, the speed in which you go through a deck like this is quite remarkable. You can burn through your deck in.
Yeah, you can burn through. You can burn through 60-70% of your deck in turn one. Yeah. If you hit off right.
So what else? I suppose Life Dew as well. Why would Life Dew ever consider like computer search?
A spec of choice being Life Dew. It means you can make your opponent play a 7-card game, 7-card prize game. Say you lead with Vespiquen, because we don't play any Muscle Man in this deck. You Vespiquen. You put the Life Dew onto it. They knock it out. It doesn't mean anything really. You're not losing a prize. You're not giving up something. Same with Wobbuffet, really. You can choose to Life Dew it instead of Float Stone if you're thinking about leaving it up as a wall.
So it acts as almost a free wall, almost like a robo
basically.
Okay, interesting. And how do you find this list without any stadiums, for example?
Well, I played this at regionals without any stadiums as well in standard. Something like Parallel City can be a big hindrance if you don't know how to play around it.
Yeah.
If you get put down to 3, or Silent Lab can be quite a pain if you don't get going early game.
Yeah, because Silent Lab also shuts down.
It shuts down your Wobbuffet, your Jirachi, your Audino, your Shaymins.
The Exeggcute as well from the
Exeggcute,
discard. So Silent Lab can be really devastating against a deck like this.
Definitely,
but, looking at the deck as a whole, how would you say this performs in the UK expanded metagame? So we're looking at lots of Blastoise, looking at lots of Yveltal.
Yeah, I think coming to week 1 of expanded tournaments in the UK, I think it would fare rather well. We played the Jolteon, obviously, for the Yveltal. Vespiquen sort of has a handle on Keldeo and Blastoise. And your opponent's definitely going to be playing a 1 prize card per turn game. When you're playing against someone like Blastoise, Keldeo, you're taking 2 prizes off of their Keldeo without really having to discard much. So it swings the matchup definitely into your favour. You can get going.
This is true. I believe this deck performs very well against Blastoise, exploits a weakness. It performs very well against Yveltal. Again, it can exploit the weakness with the Jolteon, but you don't really need the Jolteon if you can't push it out. You should have enough in the discard at that point anyway if you want to hit anything in that kind of deck. A couple of things I think might give you trouble. Archeops potentially, because it stops your evolutions.
Yeah, that's why you play Wobbuffet as well. You really do play Wobbuffet for the Archeops game.
Hi guys, we are back with a game. Oh, tell me that I'm active straight away. Let's call heads. Okay, one of them left. Yes, let's go first. So we are playing the Vespiquen Flareon deck that we just looked into in our deck profile. Just on PTCGO versus mode, seeing what we can find, get some testing for expanded city start in the next few weeks. Now this hand, I've got to say, isn't the best hand I've ever seen.
A little bit trash. Depends on what we got from the top deck and the mulligan, I guess.
Yeah. I'm half tempted to lead off with a Kecleon, so I don't lose a Combee here, but
I think Kecleon's probably your safest bet here because you want to reserve your Combee for when you evolve into a Vespiquen.
yeah. Oh, sorry, I completely forgot to put into Preston. Okay, we'll lead with Kecleon.
Yeah, I wouldn't banish the Combee until don't banish the Combee.
Okay.
Not until you've drawn the mulligan and
let's
see what
have
your
a
opponent's deck is.
We're looking at Burbank, Headringers, double colourless, double dragons. Looks to me like we were against a Toadtina kind of deck.
I definitely Toadtina. What is that? Yeah,
Might be mistaken.
Definitely silent for Giratina.
So this is going to be one of those potentially drawn out games.
This could be quite big that you've led with Kecleon. You need to press done.
Okay.
Yeah, this could definitely be big. If you can hit off a Quaking Punch potentially,
Yeah.
very much swing a lot of things in your favour. You are looking to bench the Combee.
Yeah. I was just thinking because we did draw into the Ultra Ball and the Shaymin, which is really nice. Straight away, I'm going to use the Ultra Ball, I think.
Yeah.
Dumping the Jolteon because I'm not anticipating I'm going to be using it this game, and the Fire Energy for a future Blacksmith. Let's have a look. I suppose potentially I'm going to be looking to grab. I don't want to go down my Flareon route because if it is a Toadtina, as I predict, Flareon will be.
I think having maybe one or two Flareon in play would be good, especially if they get a Giratina going. You'll be locked out of DCs.
Oh, this is true actually. This is true. Okay. Good point. I'll go into an Eevee for now. Bench that easy. We've got the Shaymin here, set up to draw 3 more cards. That's something good. Ooh, okay. Got the Eevee. We do have an Unown, so we get 1 more card with Farewell Letter. Use its ability. Ah, good. Nice. Okay.
I would reserve the N.
Would you? I was just considering that.
Yeah, I would reserve the N because you got a Flareon and a Vespiquen in hand. You don't really want to attach an energy turn 1 with this deck anyway.
I think I'll just pass him. So that end was really nice actually. Otherwise, I was a pretty bump fan to be honest. It's never nice seeing multiple VS Seekers in your hand. Turn 1.
Oh, and a Hypnotoxic Laser off the bat.
And Tails, good. Okay. So it dumped Sycamore and a Chorus. So I'm pretty sure here we are looking at a Teen Toad Hooper. So with Scoundrel Ring, we're going to be able to grab 3 Pokemon EX, stick them into their hands. For anyone that isn't aware, Hooper EX is a super nice card in these big, heavy, as predicted, Toadtina. In these heavy EX decks, it lets you fish out basically all your Pokemon with 1 ability, so it's really amazing. Another Hypnotoxic Laser to burn his hand, Tails again. So 2 Hypnotoxics down already.
Which is really nice.
Yeah, Headring on for Shaymin is irrelevant for the most part.
Semi-redundant, yeah.
Another Tails on Super Scooper. The flips are going my way so far. Benches another Tina. Goes VSC, get into Chorus.
I was going to say most likely Chorus.
Yeah, drawing 9 cards. I mean, that's another thing to mention. We are.
They are really digging, aren't they?
Yeah, they are really digging right now. So it did.
Yeah, I was going to say they're definitely looking for that DC in the Float Stone. And they hint both.
That was a very nice start for them, actually. We got everything they needed. So here we can expect a Quaking Punch for 30, no items. It's your standard Tina Toad, lock you out of the game. So we do ideally want to be either getting a attack off with Kecleon or just removing it from the active because it's dying either way. We did hit the another Flareon, so we can evolve both the Eevees, which is nice, and we've got the Vespiquen for the combo.
When you next evolve, please tick. Don't show me this again.
Okay.
It
Right.
just means they won't show again.
Okay. We've got our in. Draw in 6. Okay.
And you hit the busybody.
Alright, so we've saved Kecleon. We have an Eevee we can put down, but I think I'm going to leave that for now. How many Pokemon have we got rid of? Only 3. Ooh, okay. It'll be 4 with Kecleon. Now, I'm thinking, do we just leave the attachment this turn? Because Kecleon's going down anyway. The best I can get is a return Quaking Punch. And at this point, they're pretty set up anyway. They're not going to miss items to return.
Yeah, I do think it's not worth wasting a DC on a return Quaking Punch.
So,
possibly attach a Fire Energy to a Flareon.
Okay. So we'll make that attachment enter. No, definitely didn't want to put down double colours there because these kind of decks play a hell of amount of like special energy removal. We're looking at Crushing Hammer.
There's a Crushing Hammer off the bat.
Crushing Hammer, Enhanced Hammer, Zerosic, Flagrant are all standard of these kind of decks. So another Super Scoop up. The heads are going his way now. Shaymin into 3.
Maybe return Quaking Punch would have been good.
Potentially, but he would have nailed the knockout anyway. So
yeah, so we would have been down a DC.
I think that's the best play we could have made. Pretty.
This is definitely Vespiquen Flareon's worst matchup.
Now we'll promote Vespiquen anyway. Not 100% sure if I'm going to be attacking with it yet because we don't get the knockout. Oh, okay, hit with double colours anyway. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 in this card, so hit for 120 with Be Revenge. They have been through 2 Super Scoop Up, which I think is interesting to note at this point because you can potentially refresh his Seismitoad. But like I say, he has been through 2, so I think we're safe in just Be Revenge in this turn. I'm still keeping Eevee in hand for a potential discard if he misses a Quaking Punch for any reason. And we cannot be a Seeker because we're under Item Lock. So I think what I'm going to do is just hit the Be Revenge for 120. Because he isn't going to be able to get the knockout even with a Hypnotoxic Laser at this point. He'll be 10 short. And he's down to a Hypnotoxic Laser anyway. So it's again unlikely that he has all this in hand. It's a Colress. So it looks like he's going for a 100.
He's definitely digging for the Double Dragon Energy right now.
Yeah. But it's interesting if he does go down that route because then we get access to items again. And we do have our Blacksmith in here somewhere. So Flareon will potentially be able to get that knockout and clean up if he does decide he'd rather prioritise the special lock here. Oh, he is going for it. Okay, that's interesting. There's a Super Scoop Up. Misses it.
Been through 3 Super Scoop already.
Yeah.
In tails.
He does get the knockout, and I do lose a double colourless. But I get access to my items now. So let's see. Okay. Now, straight away, I feel like I want to use a no because we can get the draw anyway. It's another Pokemon straight to the discard. So let's go ahead and do that. Battle Compressor.
Battle Compressor is definitely big here.
Now what I can do is we play the Battle Compressor. And now I know I've got Vespiquen in hand, so I'm looking to get rid of a Blacksmith. So I can set the Blacksmith player up. There's Blacksmith for 1. Other cards I'm looking to get rid of, Exeggcute.
Definitely looking to get rid of the Exeggcute.
And
the Shaymin, potentially.
Through. Well, I'll keep Shaymin.
There are 3 in the deck, bear in mind.
I'll keep it in there. And I think
Wobbuffet, I think.
I don't see Wobbuffet making much money, so we can get rid of Wobbuffet. So there's 3 gone. I'm looking to Vespiquen Blacksmith. Just double check we've got enough fire. Yes, we have. Blacksmith, 2 fire. Now this is what's really nice about this style of Vespiquen deck, is you do have a Flareon backup attacker. If this was a traditional style Vespiquen deck, we would be very, very screwed at this point, because we lose access to our double colourless completely. So I can now Ultra Ball, get rid of that Eevee I've been hanging on to, and the double colourless because we haven't got access to it anyway.
Oh, Jono, you should have propagated the Exeggcute, mate.
Oh, okay. Misplay.
Definitely,
no worries.
Definitely a big misplay there. You want to get the Shaymin.
Grabbing a Shaymin now.
Or a Jirachi for... Oh, no, you've been playing Spore. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. My bad. Live and learn.
Definitely a big misplay there, but...
What I should have done there, for anyone who didn't see what I did, is I should have... I discarded the Exeggcute with my battle compressor, and I should have used propagation, and I didn't. So that was my fault completely. Okay, town map straight off, get access to our prize card. Let's have a look. Okay, so life should be really nice to grab out of here.
Unfortunate that we can't play.
We can't play it yet.
Right now. Yeah.
So keep that on the back burner. Another unknown. Which means another farewell letter. Flareon. Let's count now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's not a knockout, unfortunately, but it is a lot of damage. So go in here for Vengeance. Now next turn, we're going to be looking to see if we can pull off another Blacksmith. However,
this is in the hopes of hitting something like an Ultra Ball into
yeah.
Oh, we can't even get to the Shaymin, so
Let's see what we deck.
Really difficult.
Yeah. Right, promoting the Flareon. Let's have a look. Okay. So we do have the Combee. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm going to have access. I'm definitely not going to have access to Blacksmith this turn. I do have Juniper in hand. However, I'm down a Vespiquen already. I'll be down 2 more. I'm not sure I'm prepared to lose another. However, saying that, I won't be able to attach anyway.
I think this is definitely a
loss at this point.
A lost cause, which is unfortunate.
But as you say, this is the worst match.
We did get set up against the worst possible matchup for the deck.
Let's have a look. If there's another Flareon now, there is. Right, there is a Flareon in deck. Get rid of Teammates. We'll get rid of Jirachi at this point. And I think we'll get rid of Juniper, just to thin the deck a bit. And unfortunately, I cannot attack this turn.
Yeah, I think unless we can make some sort of miracle comeback, I wouldn't play the Vespiquen. I definitely wouldn't play the Vespiquen.
I'm just worried that he's going to potentially, because he doesn't need to Chaos Wheel this turn. He might think about item locking again.
I guess maybe Vespiquen for the Blacksmith's not a bad shout.
That's my only. It might potentially give me a way back into the game, I suppose, but it's very unlikely at this point. I unfortunately have to end at this point. And I do believe this game is nearly over. 20 versus turn. They have a Toad and another team set up on my bench. Not looking good. Okay. Joe's looking for cheap prizes now. Okay. One prize left. I think that's game. I can promote Flareon, I can Blacksmith, and I can Vengeance for a knockout, but he's going to return the knockout. However, we'll go through the motions. What was next card? Ultra Ball. So, actually, had he knocked me out, had he knocked the Flareon out, I would have promoted Eevee, and then I would have had access to the Flareon. And if he didn't have Lysandre, I might have been able to keep it going. However, I think it's just Flareon on this point.
It's just one of those matchups that can. It's more 70-30 in their favour, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it'd be. You have to really, really get going early game.
Well, so we'll use the Blacksmith. And Vengeance. Take our 2 prizes, and then accept the loss with dignity.
Well, it wasn't an unfortunate match. Yeah, it wasn't a horrific game to watch. It did show off the deck quite well.
Yeah, I did make the one propagation misplay about halfway through, which I will have to remember for future games. However, I don't think it would have swung the outcome of the game at all, to be honest. It was just me forgetting to propagate, and I got rid of the double colourless. By saying that, we didn't have access to the double colourless anyway for most of the game.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that was unfortunate loss. But I think it was an interesting game to observe, purely because you get to see how the deck operates. We got to see kind of the strengths and the weaknesses of the deck, because it can explode tremendously. However, it can kind of slump, especially if you're against big EX decks and you can't hit those knockouts early on, because
you'd have to discard quite a lot of Pokemon to hit those big numbers.
Yeah, people kind of seem to forget that if you're against something like a Giratina, and this deck, don't forget, at least this build doesn't run any Muscle Band or what's the other one?
Silver Bangle.
Silver Bangle. There we go. So the only damage increase you've got is the actual dumping of those Pokemon into the discard, which you can't always pull off. So as powerful as the deck is, it has its limitations. However, saying that, I think it's a really strong pick for cities coming up in the UK. It doesn't have many weaknesses apart from Toadina, which is more of a standard kind of build for size of Toad anyway. In Expanded, you can see a lot more Toad Bats being present, or Toad Garbodor. It's very strong against Keldeo Blastoise. It's very strong against Yveltal. It does struggle with Archeops builds, but as we discussed, Wobbuffet can help out with that. Other builds might favour the Hex Maniac. But there are outs against those kind of decks. So it's all round very strong, and it's performed well as standards as well. Not this build, but with Crobats and Milotic and Yveltal. So I definitely feel comfortable using a deck like this for Cities. What's your closing remarks on this, Connor?
I think something to look into is definitely play a one of Jirachi, in my opinion. Obviously, if we were playing that, it would have swung the matchup a lot further into our favour as a whole.
Yeah.
But you can't have everything all the time.
But thanks for watching anyway. I hope this has helped in some way or another. Don't make misplays like I do. Always remember to propagate even. And have a good day.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. See you in the future video. Bye.